Hey, I'll tell you what you want, what you really, really want. The Spice Girls bus.
So tell me what I want, what I really, really
All right.
want.
The Spice Girls bus is now on Airbnb.
The Spice Girls bus?
Yeah. The double-decker bus that was featured in the 1997 film Spice World.
I love that movie.
Has listed on Airbnb by Spice Girls mega fan Suzanne Godley. It'll be located in the Wembley Park area of London. The renovated bus can accommodate 3 people, but guests will have to use a temporary bathroom as the bus does not have one. Starting on May 22nd, the Spice Girls bus will be available to book for June 14th and 15th for $127 per night. Only for 2 days? That's the only time they're going to.
And that's cheaper than I would have thought.
Yeah.
There's some hardcore Spice Girl fans out there, I'm sure, that would spend thousands.
The Spice Girls are performing at Wembley Stadium on those days.
Did you see they finally got a sponsor for the tour?
Oh,
They
really?
did?
Who's that?
Old Spice.
I love him, man. I do. I love you,
That's
dude.
strong, Ace. I did not see that coming. I thought you were serious.
I did too.
I thought all of us were scratching that joke off of our list as we.
Well, you could have. I didn't see
You didn't jump in there quick enough.
I think they've set their sights a little low.
127, yeah.
127 a night. The fact that it doesn't have a bathroom.
3 people.
That's the thing right there. Anytime you get on a tour bus, the first thing I would ask is, you got a grinder? Like you need, need, and 4 girls, and when there are 4 of them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were 5 at one point.
5,
right? I think.
all on one bus with no bathroom. They're not touring in that.
Well, no, this was a bus that was used in a video, I think. Or
Just in the movie or whatever,
In the
yeah.
movie.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
not a
I
tour
got
bus.
you. Okay.
But now you've been on many tour buses. You
Yes.
toured extensively with Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White.
Yeah.
Bill Engvall, Jeff Foxworthy.
Name dropper.
Well, no, but you've
No,
been
keep
on some-
going. Yes, you're correct, Tom. Shut up, Josh.
Those guys have some pretty nice buses.
They do.
However, I've been on some of these things. As a general rule, they really ask you, unless it's an absolute emergency, don't.
Right.
Don't do number 2 on the bus.
Well, that's what the
don't-
grinder is for.
Yeah.
Don't
That's,
soil the.
and any bus driver will tell you there's no grinder. You can tell if there's a grinder because they don't want you to. Like Dave Matthews is banned.
Famously,
Dump it off the. So they have
although
to
I don't
do.
think he knew about it. I think it was.
Right.
Yeah, whatever. I don't ever buy that stuff. When he wasn't on the bus, yeah, he was laughing, hitting the button, getting hot. Yeah, come on, let's Dave Matthews. But yeah, if that's the first thing I would ask is when you get on, and you don't want to because it's still, it's not.
Confined space.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a small space, and but when you're going down the highway, and if you're late, and but Cable Guy he was smart. Well, his wife, one of them was smart. They got a bus for us, and then they were on a bus.
Uh-huh.
So
that's good.
all the stinky.
I bet there were certain times when the 2 buses would stop and she'd get off and go, "I'm getting on your bus."
It smells too bad on the Star bus.
Cable Guy apparently. Yeah. I'm not sure, but I think he gave birth to a tire that may have been on fire.
Yeah,
They also would travel by jet every now. There's a great
we
story
did.
of, and maybe you can attest to whether or not this is true, that Foxworthy and Ron White were sitting on Foxworthy's jet, and he goes, I was listening to some of my old albums, and there's some pretty funny stuff on there. And Ron White looks at him and goes, "Thus the jet."
Yeah, hence the jet. Yeah, they were getting on it, and he was walking up, and he's like, "Yeah, I had some good stuff." And he's like, "Hence the jet." Dude, there's a great story. I don't know. This guy Glenn tours with Foxworthy all the time. And so Glenn, those guys, when they come get on the tour, my friends would come get on the tour buses, and they're thinking like Motley Crue, Poison, and they get on the bus, and there's like an empty pizza box and a dip cup, and they're like, "This sucks, man." And everybody's married, and they're like, "You guys are lame," and we're like, "You want to play cards? Do a shot of Jack or whatever." So the story, so those little tiny Learjets. So we finished the show, and this guy Glenn, who used to travel with Jeff, used to take Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's what we'd eat every night was Kentucky Fried Chicken. And that was another thing. People are like, "Aren't these guys rich?" Like my friends are like, "Dude, what do you get? Like fillets and stuff?" And I'm like, "No, it's KFC." And
Yeah, that's the way
you
to
can get some mashed potatoes if you get there early. It's gonna be gone.
They are good.
They're great. They're great. So Glenn used to take the skin off of the chicken, off the KFC, put coleslaw in it, wrap it up.
What?
And then eat the coleslaw wrapped in the thing, and he gave him rancid. I know it sounds
Josh
disgusting.
is writing this down for
It's good.
his new show.
So he gave it gave him he'd fart the whole way back on those little tiny jets, and there's nowhere for it to go. Like there's literally a pinhole in the front of that to suck anything out. So it would stink the entire time. So Jeff picks up that wrapping the coleslaw and the Kentucky Fried Chicken skin makes him fart, right? So he's like, Glenn, there's no more of you wrapping that coleslaw before we get on the jet. You either eat the chicken or you eat the coleslaw, but you're not wrapping them together. And Glenn's like, nah, man, that's old Glenn. New Glenn doesn't do that. You know, old Glenn, that's in the past. I'm not doing that anymore. So Glenn gets a couple beers in him, and he's sneaking food around, and no one sees him. They get on the plane, and he's kind of nodding off. And all of a sudden, Jeff's like, damn, Glenn, what is that? And Glenn just opens his eyes and goes, damn you, old Glenn.
Wow.
There's nothing you can do.